Zippity-doo-dah. Why am I singing zippity-doo-dah? I don't think I can recall another month where I've had more bills than this month. It's just kind of been absolutely astonishing. There's a lot going on in the world. Most of it's not good. I actually, on a few of these points, I asked a lot of people. If everybody has their own perspectives and views on things, I asked other people, it's like, am I right on this? So I wanted to get a couple of those on what's going on. By the way, Putin is threatening to bring nukes into the theater of war with what we're supplying on Ukraine. The Ukrainians, by the way, sunk the ship, the Moskva. That's Russian for Moscow, by the way. Apparently now there are loose nukes. Apparently there was at least a couple nukes on that ship, and now it's at the bottom of the Black Sea. Isn't that interesting? Right now, also, too, Putin is threatening Finland and Sweden, and he's used the word nukes in relationship to that. I know Russians quite well, a lot better than most people, and certainly better than 99% of Americans. Some of the horrible things that have been going on over in the theater of war, vis-a-vis Ukraine, украинская девушка, настоящие народы. It's horrible. I'm not interested in, expressing my feelings on that. It's kind of blatantly obvious to anybody with two eyes and a half a brain. The horrors that are going on there. So I'm not interested in expressing feelings, even though I have them on that, because that's not beneficial for a halfway intelligent, discussion of things. Putin is threatening Finland and Sweden against joining NATO. Here's something that's horrible, especially for Americans, and this will affect the entire Western world. I mean, big things that happen to America, no matter if someone hates the United States or not, it's an undeniable fact that if something big happens to the United States, it affects tons and tons and tons of other countries. I don't know if you know it or not, but it's super serious. The bulk share of China's income is, selling cheap plastic junk to Americans. So, they don't want bad stuff to happen here. There is going to be a recession. Some of the wisest people that you don't see on TV, people that actually have a lot of money and talk amongst their peers, and a so close circle of people that are not lip flappers. These are people that have money and know what they're talking about. They all agree that there's going to be a really, really nasty stagflation. I don't know if you know what a stagflation is. It's a combination of economic stagnation with bad inflation. I know there's going to be recession. I mean, I would, not that I'm a gambling person, but I would put money on a horrible recession starting sometime later this year. Gas and food will increase by at least another 20%, and people right now are right on the edge. Every American family has been estimated to be paying $300 more per week, or $1,200 per month. A lot of bad things are happening regarding schools, and I've noticed it. Not that I am around any the younger generation. I watch the stuff, and everybody that's older thinks the newer generation is just like totally mentally imploded, intellectually imploded. But as horrific as American schools were before, all of this, the nonsense that's been going on the past few years, they're far, far, far worse now. And even here in Kentucky, I've talked to people about what's happening to their kids in school. Just the level of unintelligence due to education, lack of education, genuine education, is completely off the Richter scale. People can't write anymore. They can't think. They just can't. They can't think or write. I mean, we could call this generation iPad. I mean, I have two iPads. I'm not one to talk. But, I do a lot of writing and a lot of critical thinking. But people can't write or think. Nobody can critically think anymore. I mean, there's a lot of really bad stuff that's going on. I don't know if you know what's going on. You could even go on Instagram, or you could type in a search bar and type in Shanghai lockdown. This new variant, I'm not going to express any opinions on that, the new variant, just around the corner as far as the people that are hyping that. whatever you think as far as the way they're hyping it, one direction or another. That's also too the reason why they did a 2-week extension on face diapers, on public transportation, airlines, buses, so on and so forth. You should type in a search of people, apartment screamers in Shanghai, China. There's many countless videos of this. It's not propaganda, it's truth. People are screaming from their... I lived in Russia, okay? I know what communist, really depressing, grotesque, communist apartment high-rises are. You got like a gazillion people living in a high-rise. In Russia, it's the same as it is in China. They have like a huge high-rise here, a huge one here, over here, and they have this depressing little park right in the middle of it for the kids to play. It's always dirty and depressing. And we have videos of people taking videos of the people on their balconies, just like thousands of people screaming in agony. They're screaming because they have no food. I've seen countless videos of people literally chained and locked in their own homes. I'd love to express an opinion on that, but I'm not going to do it for many reasons. The United States is dumping enormous amounts of money into fueling the current hot war that's going on with Ukraine. I'm going to say that in Russian. They're doing it for many reasons, but I'm going to speculate that part of those reasons are to cover up insane inflation in the United States, and also, too, peace is really bad for business, and this is big time feeding the MIC. The MIC is the military-industrial complex. Aside from money, and everything apparently is about money except for a few good people left in this world, I care about and I care for you, and I have some Ukrainian friends. I care about them and care for them. I have Russian friends too. I have more Russian friends than Ukrainian friends, and I don't look at somebody and, have sympathy or lack of sympathy for somebody if I see them in a horrible situation, where they're, experience a lot of pain and what, I don't say, well, I'm not going to care about that person because they're XYZ nationality. That's not part of having any modicum of wisdom. It's like, well, you've heard this and seen that before in people, evil people. It's like, I would care about that person if they're an American, but since they're from blah, blah, blah country, I just couldn't care less about them. I'm not like that, and a lot of the world is like that, so... Russia is big time just today, is threatening the United States over their supply lines of military hardware to Ukraine. I mean, they're seriously threatening. Talk is cheap, but I know what Russia says and what they do and the connection thereof, and how that's really quite radically different than what American politicians do. So what's going on this year? We got crazy inflation. There is going to be a recession, 100% hardcore, no ifs, ands, or buts. We have a new variant. They're going to throw in a big, tall smattering of climate apocalypse on top of it. You got the hot war in Eastern Europe. Crazy inflation. Economic ruin. I'm not a doom and gloomer. I'm absolutely not. The end result of this is having everybody on their knees begging for Big Brother. When you have someone on their knees, you can get them to capitulate to anything. I've said this now for years. Once you get people on their knees, it's over with. You can get them to do anything. Until and when you get people on their knees, you don't have hegemonic control over them. But once you got them on their knees, where they're literally starving and worried about the roof over their heads, and their mind has literally been, because there have been countless studies of this, and you could look them up, that when people, their minds, human beings' minds, after X amount of fear and stress, they literally become altered so that even if they were moderately critical thinkers before, like, let's think this out. That doesn't seem very logical or what. That doesn't seem true. People can't think anymore. You heap enough stress and misery on people, you can literally change their psyche. This is not my opinion. This is a well-established fact. Countless studies have been done on it. Go look it up. So people are being brought to their knees by climate apocalypse, hot war, new variant, economic ruin completely off the scale. I'm telling you, I hear people in Florida, I did, and even here in Kentucky, I could hear people talking and just like doing everything but screaming about the prices of food. I literally didn't buy a steak in Florida, even though I wanted to buy it. It's like, this is just too much. I could afford that, but no, it's too much. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's just too much. Here's another fact. It's not my opinion. It's a hardcore. Tons and tons of people are teetering on the edge of total economic and financial ruin right now. I don't think that. I know that. Used cars are up 40 to 45%. Inflation, gas prices, the horrific price of food. Like I said, every American family on average is paying $1,200 more per month. On the average family that was working their fannies off, fanny means something different in America. If you know what, fanny means your butt here in America. Working their butts off before all of this, $1,200 more a month, multiply that times 12. That, I mean, people were already eating like bologna sandwiches and bought shopping at the dollar store before, and you're going to heap $1,200 more per month on the average American family. Average American family, what I mean is like maybe a wife and husband and wife, one kid, it could be two. They have a house payment, they have a car payment. They work their butts off. They can't do that. That is currently at insane inflation, $1,200 per month on the average American family. Food prices and gas prices are going to go up. The current El Presidente de Estados Unidos, that old guy, even among a new poll came out, and this is, you could say it's politics, but it's not politics. It's just a fact. Gen Xers is approval, the highest approval he's got is from Gen Xers, and it's 40%, but his average approval is 22%. If they took, it was Quinnipiac poll, 22% approval rating. It is the worst, even CNN, I don't care what you think of CNN, I don't watch CNN either, but even CNN admits this is the worst, i.e. the lowest rating approval rating of all American history. It's 22%. So tons of people are teetering on the edge, but food prices and gas prices and inflation are going to get worse. They are. And there is a recession coming. I will remind you of this fact, not a fact, not an opinion, it's a fact, that society is the thinnest crust imaginable, sitting on top of the most dangerous, largest volcano imaginable. Like, what's a supervolcano? Yellowstone National Park. It's like, isn't this pretty? It's like, yeah, but Yellowstone, all those little bubbling geysers and stuff that are so pretty that photographers like this. Isn't that nice? Take pictures of. The reason why there's that neat geological stuff going on in Yellowstone is because it's the thinnest paper. It's a paper-thin crust over top of a supervolcano. And right now, that's what the global economy is. It was that before. Now the crust is even thinner. This is a question that I asked an enormous amount of people. It's like, before I say this in a video, it's like, it's not just me, because I even asked myself, I know I'm a really smart guy, and the smarter you are, the dumber a lot of people look, and I don't have anything against dumb people. I can't stand, like, pseudo-intellectual academia. I actually have friends that can't read and write. I actually love them because they're real and honest, and they know cool stuff like how to garden and how to hunt, and so, so I'm not against stupid people at all, so don't take this the wrong way. But I was like, was it just me? I know I'm really smart. It's just everybody's just looking. I'm more intelligent at making everybody else look dumber. I asked a lot of people this. That human incompetence, at least here in the West, is so off the scale. Nobody cares anymore. You used to be able to wave money at somebody, not that I have money, And they're like, oh, yes, sir, and they step to it. Money is not a motivator anymore. Nobody cares about their job. Nobody cares about getting fired. Nobody cares to do their job right. They lie. Just imagine the most lazy, incompetent, I don't care, period. There's a tidal wave about that out there. He's like, you can't get anything done anymore. I agree with me on this. I'm asking you. Because I've asked a lot of people, and like, it's not you, you're right. That's exactly right. I asked a lot of people that. It's like, is it just me? It's like, no, it's not you, you're right. I noticed it too. Incompetence, human incompetence is off the scale. Literally, it has gone in the past 3 years. This is kind of funny. It has gone from this to this. It has gone from, it's gone from that to this. It's got bad. I read every comment too. Tell me what you think on some of these points. So there's a recession, a new variant, climate apocalypse are trying to push that. Hot war. Putin is warning the West to not bring any more military into Ukraine, or he's going to bring in the nukes. I actually understand what a Russian threat is, unlike most Americans. I just talk like every other American politician. No, the Russians are different, actually. I actually do know stuff like that, because I live there. I know the people. And once again, look up those studies about when people get X amount of stress and misery heaped upon them, their psychology actually changes, and they lose any and all ability of critical thinking. This has been a study done many countless times. Check it out. I wish this wasn't happening. I'm not a doom and gloomer. I'm not a Chicken Little, the sky is falling. But in the case, like a broken clock is right twice a day. I mean, there is a recession coming. At the very least, stagflation. Inflation is going to go much worse. They're literally trying to bring everybody to their knees. They really, really are. Because people are starting to breathe again, but this is exactly what I've said would happen. They do the choke hold, and they let go. And right now we're in the let go period, where it was like, oh, the pandemic is over, everything's fine now. It's like, no, they just let loose of their hand around your neck, and it's gonna go tighter. There are gonna be multiple fronts of tightening. Hot war, new variant, climate apocalypse, nasty inflation, economic ruin, definite recession, very least stagflation. So, tell me what you think. Okay, goodbye.